Alright kids, let's talk about the horrible freight central machinery pipe and tubing notcher. Right out of the box, this thing is a complete swing and a miss. And we'll go over some of the details of why. And the video will be a little bit shaky here because I'm holding the camera. First thing you're going to do, this incremental degree gauge, chisel the rivets out of it, throw it away, because it's completely wrong. You're going to want to find yourself your 90 degrees between this, and I'll show you how to do that. And then you're going to want to mark your own lines. Another thing is, this slide that holds the arbor, you can move it up and down. The slots that the bolts go through, these are 8mm, they're 13mm head, but it's an 8mm by whatever pitch thread. This is about a 12mm slot. So this thing moves side to side. So as soon as you move it up and down, you've completely lost your 0 or 90 degrees again. So what I did was, this is 1/8 inch key stock. I welded it on both sides of this slide. So now, if I do have to move this, it will slide up and down somewhat straight. And that's about it for that part of the junk. Let me put you in the camera stand and we'll look at the rest of the garbage. Alright, after I established where this thing's as straight as what I can get it, because none of this shit is straight. None of their angles are straight. These things, everything from Harbor Freight, the fit and finish is horrible. That's why it's so cheap. So, to get what I wanted, after I welded my key stock on, got this as straight as I could, I took my combination square, and I just went right off of the pipe to this embossment, and that's how I got my 0. After you get that squared up, that's going to be your first line, is your 0. That's the most important one, because if you're going to do angles, more than likely you're going to go over with an angle gauge to whatever you're making and get that angle there, and then you're going to go off with your angle gauge from here to the pipe. So that's how I got that. And then this thing, like the first tube that I cut, it cut, I can't remember now, it cut horribly to one side. Like, it cut completely through one side, not completely through the other. So this whole piece right here, these 3 bolts that hold this on, I pulled this off and I shimmed this out. I did it incrementally to figure out what I needed, but it ended up being around 32 thousandths of an inch is what I had to shim this out to get it to cut right. And saying cut right, you got to use that term loosely, because I'll show you the next problem with these. Here's your arbor. Put your arbor up in. Now it rides in a brass bushing here and a brass bushing here. The rest of it's just kind of hollow in between them brass bushings. That's about a 30-second, maybe a little bit more of movement. So no matter how perfect you make all of this shit, you still have this variable to deal with. But what I'm figuring is, for home gamers like me and you, anything we're going to make, this isn't going to kill the job. So after all that, we'll chuck up a hole saw in it and watch it cut. Stay tuned. You should run the drill slower than this, but I'm running it this fast because to put the coolant on it, I have to use one hand, and in low gear, when this thing kicks, it'll rip your arm off or it'll spin this thing right out of the C-clamp. Ask me how I know. At least in high gear, you can kind of throttle it back a little bit, and when it does catch, it just stalls the drill out. Alright, we're through. Let's take it over and clean it up on the belt sander. Follow me. Deburr the inside. Alright. Is it perfect? No. But for anything I'm going to do or build, it'll be just fine. I'm not going to weld it up in this video. If you want to see a video of welding cope tubing, just leave a comment or something and we'll get to it. But as usual, like, subscribe, share my channel with somebody. I appreciate you guys watching and supporting me, and have fun.